so that we can make an impact upon this community to let St. Francis know we will not stand for racism anymore. Racism cannot live in this building. But our main message today is we stand united for change. We will not tolerate this. We will continue to do this until St. Francis takes a stand to stamp out racism and different treatment between white students and black students.
As a black student, these recurring issues have severely angered me and upset me. Yeah. And to know that white students can do these things to other people of color at our school is absolutely absurd. They can do whatever they want. They can say whatever they want to us, and nothing is going to happen. And we don't deserve this. We wear the exact same uniform, y'all. Come on. We wear the exact same uniform to get different treatment. That doesn't make any sense to me.
It's a sad day for the community. After hearing what has been said, nobody should be happy. Unfortunately, we're gathered here today because we're exhausted. Tired of seeing the abuse of black bodies. Because this is what this is. Abuse. Psychological violence is blackface. It's also the silence of the administration.
Yes! All right, guys, so we got to talk about this feel-good story out of California involving two teenagers who were wrongfully kicked out of school for doing blackface. Now, this story is ridiculous for a lot of reasons. The primary reason being students being kicked out of school for doing blackface. I don't think that students should be expelled from school for doing blackface. Even if they did it with racist intent, they should not be expelled for that. I mean, kids fight in school and they don't get expelled. Kids do a lot of things that I would characterize as worse than blackface in school, and they don't get expelled for it. So the fact that you are expelling students, you're kicking them out of the school over wearing face paint, I think is dumb, especially during a time in which if you're white and you wear black paint on your face for whatever reason, okay, you can be accused of racism, even if you aren't doing it as a way to mock black people or any type of, racist way. You'll get accused of it. And we've seen this backfire so many times, okay? Like, for example, when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs fan, the 9-year-old boy, Holden Armenta, that was wearing face paint at a Kansas City Chiefs game. One side of his face was black, the other side was red, and then Deadspin decided to try to paint the kid as a racist, trying to say that he was disrespecting Native Americans and black people at the same time, showing his hate towards them because he was wearing face paint that clearly and obviously was not intended to be racist or anything like that, but it was basically the kid just wearing face paint as a part of his costume for a football game, okay, which is something that should be allowed. But again, if you are white or white passing and you wear something on your face, there's a chance you will be accused of racism, okay? And you would think that a school would do the proper due diligence before deciding to discipline students for allegations of blackface, okay? But in the George Floydification of America, in which this is when this story took place, this is when they were actually suspended, that's not what they do anymore, okay? They discipline first, and then they ask questions later, and that backfired after these teenagers won a $1 million lawsuit after they proved that, hey, we weren't wearing blackface. We actually were wearing green acne medication in solidarity with a friend who was experiencing acne problems. Now, this story, again, is ridiculous, and one of the main reasons it's ridiculous is that this didn't even happen in 2020. This actually happened in 2017, but the story went viral during the George Floydification of America because, again, all the woke revolutionaries were out here looking for racism, okay, and things to be upset about, right? So I want to read about this story because, again, this is a good feel-good story here. So let's get into it. Two California teens who were forced to withdraw from an elite Catholic high school over accusations of blackface have been awarded $1 million in tuition reimbursement. A Santa Clara County jury sided with the teens identified by the initials AH and HH on 2 claims concerning breach of oral contract and lack of due process. The boys sued St. Francis High School in August 2020 after photos circulated of them sporting acne treatment mask. The controversy started when the boys were accused of performing blackface and were ultimately pressured into withdrawing from the prestigious Mountain View School. It was quite clear the jury believed these were innocent face masks, attorney Krista Bogman told the San Francisco Chronicle after Monday's judgment. Quote, "They are young kids. Their internet trail is going to haunt them for the next 60 years. Now they don't have to worry about that." Yeah, so this is the picture in question that went viral. Okay, and apparently the woke revolutionaries saw this and they said, oh, well, these white guys are wearing blackface. Okay, now it looks like another one of the guys in this photo is actually not white, right? He looks Asian, but they didn't really care about that, right? They weren't concerned about the Asian guy wearing the mask, okay? There has to be some legitimate reason that the Asian guy was wearing the mask, but these white guys, no. No legitimate reason except blackface, right? And what you can look at the photo and see that, oh, well, these masks aren't actually really black. They look green, right? It's pretty clear that it's not really black, but the woke revolutionaries can't let the facts get in the way of the narrative, okay? When you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail, okay? So I think that's exactly what's going on here, okay? So again, these pictures went viral in 2020 during the George Floydification of America because these people were looking for racism. They were looking for white people to be mad about. And it just so happens that these boys and their old photos had resurfaced due to, again, woke revolutionaries looking for racism. It's really despicable behavior. The teens lost on 3 of the claims alleging breach of contract, defamation, and a violation of free speech. The plaintiffs initially sought $20 million when they filed suit in Santa Clara County Superior Court 3 years after they and a friend who attended another school and was not included in the lawsuit snapped a selfie while donning acne treatment masks. In the offending photo, the boys' face were covered in dark green medication. A photo taken a day earlier revealed that they had tried on white face masks as well. So again, it's funny how they weren't accused of whiteface, right? Because that's totally fine. Now, I do remember a TikTok or video going viral a long time ago of some black boys wearing whiteface, okay, and acting like stereotypical kind of white people that are on meth, right? They were acting like meth heads, and all the woke revolutionaries were kiki and haha. No, that's funny. You can be black and wear whiteface and act like a meth head, okay? And that's something to laugh at, right? But again, if a white person wears blackface and they act like a black person, or if they just wear blackface at all, again, apparently that's the worst thing ever. Unless you're a liberal, right? Unless you are Sarah Silverman or a Justin Trudeau or a Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, you can wear blackface all day if you're a white liberal and get away with it, okay? So there are a lot of double standards going on here. According to documents reviewed by dailymail.com, another SFHS student obtained a copy of the photograph from a friend's Spotify account and uploaded it to a group chat in June 2020. The photo resurfaced on the same day. Recent SFHS graduates created a meme pertaining to the murder of George Floyd, which sparked its own outrage and controversy. The student insinuated that the teens were using blackface and deemed the photo another example of racist SFHS students before urging everyone in that group chat to spread it throughout the school community. Again, looking for racism because of George Floyd. Again, there's so much damage that has been done to this country culturally when it comes to this guy's death, right? And that's the saddest part about it. The irreparable damage that has happened in this country should be studied in history books. It will be studied in history books, unfortunately, but the way they're going to tell the story, they're going to tell it as if, you know, it was something that sparked positive change, when there's nothing but negativity and chaos and destruction that has come out of the death of George Floyd. On June 4th, 2020, Dina students Ray Hisatake called the boys' parents and asked them if they were aware of the photograph. The parents asserted that the teens had applied green face masks 3 years earlier, quote, with neither ill intent nor racist motivation, nor even knowledge of what blackface meant, according to the suit. Less than 4 business hours later, Principal Katie Tikal called HH parents and said the teens were not welcome back to SFHS. When the boy's father reiterated that his sons had not engaged in blackface, Tikal responded that her decision was not based on intent, but optics and the harm done to the St. Francis community, aka, well, the woke revolutionaries are going to be upset, right? People are going to boohoo, whine, and cry, and they're going to accuse the school of being ran by white supremacists because they didn't suspend these students for committing the crime of putting, what looks like black paint on their face, but is actually really a face mask. Again, it's ridiculous. Tikal said HH could choose to voluntarily withdraw rather than be expelled, with the incident scrubbed from his student record. Quote, at no time did Ms. Tikal or anyone else from the SFHS administration offer to investigate the allegations against the boys or assist in removing the photograph in any way, the lawsuit asserts. By June 17th, the school's attorney was telling the families the image disrespect was so severe as to warrant immediate dismiss. So I mean, this is why they weren't concerned with investigating, because they didn't care about getting to the truth, right? They don't care about standing on truth and facts or anything like that. All they care about is the woke revolutionaries not being upset, because their feelings matter more so than the livelihoods of these students. The school then backed a protest by parents who used the image as evidence of kids participating in blackface and thinking that this is all a joke, according to a Facebook page. The teens ultimately withdrew on June 19th, but HH encountered a problem when he attempted to join the football team at his new school. Despite Tikal's promise, SFHS was required to disclose that he had switched schools to avoid disciplinary action. This would see him banned from playing sports for a year per regional rule. So not only were they kicked out, but also they couldn't play sports at the new school because, they were falsely promised that, hey, this is not going to go on your record if you just make it all go away by just, leaving, okay? If we're going to expel you, just leave. But that wasn't true, okay? So the lawsuit asserted that the principal's violation of her verbal agreement constituted a breach of oral contract. HH ultimately moved to Utah with his family in order to be eligible to play football during his senior year of high school. Wow, that must have been expensive to do, right? To get up and to move just so that your kid can play football, right? I mean, they move all the way to another state. As a part of the jury award, SFHS must reimburse the teens' moving and living costs. Facts, as they should. Quote, this lawsuit is our attempt to redeem our names and reputations and to correct the record to reflect the truth of what actually happened, the boys' family said in a joint statement at the time. A photograph of this innocent event was plucked from obscurity and grossly mischaracterized during the height of nationwide social unrest. They claimed SFHS and its leadership had rebuffed their attempts to correct the misunderstanding and seemed to have no interest in entertaining the truth. Judge Thang Barrett decided against dismissing the suit in January 2021, noting that there was no evidence of an investigation into the matter by administrators. After Monday's verdict, SFHS released its own statement. Representatives for the school said they respectively disagree with the jury's conclusion as to the lesser claim regarding the fairness of our disciplinary review process. SF is now exploring legal options, including an appeal. Well, I mean, I don't think that they should win their appeal because I think that they were wrong. I think it's obvious that these students were wearing, face masks, okay, for acne. Now, the reasoning in regards to why they was doing it, I don't know. I don't care. It doesn't really matter. Kids should not be suspended from school. They should not be expelled for wearing blackface. And I think because these kids' lives were ruined, their reputation was ruined, I think they honestly should have got more than $1 million. I think $1 million is light, okay? Especially in Joe Biden's economy. They're probably having issues finding jobs, okay? Or, just being able to provide for themselves and living normal lives. And again, this happens all too often in this country where people are falsely smeared as racist for things that don't have anything to do with racism, but yet the woke revolutionaries, because their feelings tend to be prioritized over common sense, reason, and logic, this is what happens, right? And it happens all too often. And this is why outcomes like this are important. Stories like this are important because hopefully, institutions and people think, twice before accusing somebody of racism, falsely doing so just because your feelings are hurt or just because you don't understand what somebody was doing in a situation or a photo or in a video, you just automatically assume that, oh, it must be racism. We've seen this too much in this country, and it has to come to an end. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.